Because every day above ground is a good day. Some are just more questionable than others. It is Questionable Call with your boy JC, the NFL Draft Edition, and we got 8 on the big board, and let's roll right now into number 8. Roger Goodell and his new best friend Eminem back again. Guess who's back? Shady's back. Tell a friend. We told you earlier this week, this promo, genius by the ESPN to promote the NFL Draft. Genius in a ploy also possibly to get Roger Goodell to be spared from being booed by the Detroit crowd. At least they admit it. Take a look.
We only have one shot to nail this. One shot.
You know you're still gonna get booed, right?
I'm not afraid.
I'm afraid for you.
I'm not afraid to take a stand. Look at that. Look at the boys.
So what's the plan?
2 words. Rap battle.
I mean, I'm so confused. That is really well done. Question: on point or doing too much? I already told you outstanding. Part 1, tremendous. This, outstanding. The commissioner is showing he can laugh at himself. He's not taking himself too seriously. And you wonder, why would Eminem be involved outside of Detroit, it being the city? Turns out it's a promotional piece. He's got a new album coming out this summer and shows this opportunity to promote that and drop that little piece of news in the process. This is on point. Well done, Marshall Mathers, Roger Goodell, and the National Football League. As we roll on to number 7, a two-parter, and it comes to us from the big shock surprise of the draft last night. This was the moment in which the NFL Network team announced there was quite possibly going to be a shocking pick at number 8, and it looked like it might be Michael Penix Jr. Take a listen and a look at Ian Rappaport and the NFL Network crew with this news in advance of the selection.
All right, the Falcons pick is Ian Rappaport.
Rich, you guys are going to say I'm crazy, and you probably did when we talked about it in the pregame show. The Atlanta Falcons are considering Michael Penix at number 8. And I know they signed Kirk Cousins, gave him $100 million guaranteed. It is all about succession at the most important position. A lot of people think they're going to take a defensive player, maybe edge. Michael Penix is very firmly in the mix for the Atlanta Falcons.
How about them apples?
I was wondering when the chaos was going to start. Apparently now.
Yeah, it would be. It would be, wouldn't it? So then here comes the commissioner to make the actual announcement. Take a look, take a listen as Michael Penix Jr. is selected.
State of affairs if we're about to hear the name of Michael Penix Jr.
Hat tip to Ian. Ian
now.
said this hours ago.
Yeah.
Brought this
he
up.
set it up as a possibility.
If this is the way this goes.
Okay.
Are they really going to do this? And whatever happened to the edge rusher? I thought that's where we were going with Atlanta.
Here we go.
With the 8th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Michael Penix Jr.
Well, there it is.
Quarterback, Washington.
That is the first surprise of the NFL Draft, to say the least.
Yeah, that was shocking indeed. Question: do we have a quarterback controversy in Atlanta? The answer is maybe, and here's why. Kirk Cousins, new addition, 4 years, $180 million, but only 2 of it at 90 is guaranteed, which means they could cut him free and save that money at just $90 million. He will be 36 this season. Michael Penix, we know he's banged up, bad shoulder, bad knee, surgeries. He'll be 24 in 2 weeks. There's not a quarterback controversy as of right now, but as soon as Kirk Cousins starts to play poorly, has a bad game, believe me when I tell you, they will call for Michael Penix Jr. And keep in mind this, while you're building for the future and planning for succession, if you will, you also have to be mindful of the fact that Kirk Cousins, playing at the age of 36, will be doing so after missing more than half the season with a torn Achilles. So there's no guarantee that he finishes this season, and you don't need Michael Penix immediately. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. But to answer the question, is there a QB controversy in Atlanta? Well, not yet. Let's roll on. As we continue the countdown, we head into number 6, presented by Twin Peaks. Eat, drink, scenic views, 29-degree beer made from scratch favorites. Your UFC fight headquarters and draft headquarters is Twin Peaks. Turns out Kirk Cousins not made aware of the team plans in advance. No discussion in advance. He just signed his deal. He just got paid. And then he gets a phone call while the Falcons are on the clock saying, hey, just to give you a heads up, we're going to take a quarterback here in this spot. Take a look at how this went down, according to the NFL Network and their insiders.
I still can't believe the Falcons drafted Michael Penix Jr. It has nothing to do. I am such a huge fan of that kid. I want nothing but success for him. He is incredible. But they just signed Kirk Cousins to a 9-figure deal.
I just reached out to his agent, Mike McCartney. I'm sure Ian's talked to him as well, but he was not given a heads up. Kirk Cousins was not given really a heads up on this whole thing.
So he's sitting at home and just hearing Michael Penix Jr.'s name called.
Well, not exactly. That's not exactly how it played out. He was notified while they were on the clock. That's a move they were going to make. If you're Kirk Cousins, there's questions, right? There's questions. Question! Like, did Atlanta mishandle this? And the answer is sort of, because they don't need to tell their brand new acquisition about what they're going to do. But they also did bring him in to tell him he's the guy for 4 years and $180 million. And they did not draft someone to make his job easier or his life better or help them win right now. They drafted someone to replace him or succeed him after he is done. Did they mishandle it? It's a tough call, because what do they owe him actually in decision-making? You don't want to tell him in advance, because if it doesn't happen, well, there's no need. Why start that fire? But with that said, at least they did the right thing in letting him know before the announcement was made on TV, so he wasn't completely shocked. Let's roll on to number 5 on this NFL Draft Edition, and it comes to us from Bill Belichick joining the Pat McAfee Show, and they're talking about the number 3 overall pick, Drake May, to the New England Patriots. Listen very closely, as the former coach and GM of the Patriots has a little bit of criticism for this quarterback and possibly for his former team in selecting him. Take a look.
What do you think about the player that they took in this new era?
Well, I think that's certainly a top need for him. It's quarterback, tackle, and wide receiver. And so, this is one of the top needs. Drake compares himself a lot to Josh Allen. He has been doing that for quite a while. We'll see about that. I think there are some similarities in terms of, size and athleticism. But Josh Allen's a pretty special player now.
Question: is Bill Belichick hating on the Pats or on May himself? Is he even hating at all? He's on there to be honest, and he's not affiliated with the team, so he can do just that. But he's talking about a man claiming that he compares himself often to Josh Allen. We'll see about that. You heard the laughter from Pat McAfee, because he recognized that was a moment worthy of discussion and or debate. I'm not sure Bill Belichick is hating on either the Patriot organization or on Drake May, but he's letting it be known this young man thinks a lot of himself. He makes healthy comparisons. He's done this before, and I guess show me more so than continue to keep telling me. To answer the question, is Bill hating on the Pats or May? No, not exactly. As we roll on in the countdown, gets us all the way to number 4, presented by Bud's Chicken and Seafood. Remember, budschicken.com. Order for pickup or delivery. The greatest chicken tenders of your entire life, made of tenderloin. Order now, budschicken.com. And this comes to us from the family of Brian Thomas Jr., whose parents were so excited to see him be drafted at number 23 by the Jacksonville Jaguars, the wide receiver out of LSU, has a new home in the NFL. Take a quick listen and a close listen as Laura Rutledge is going to ask Brian's mom, Sandra, about this family's journey to this moment in time.
Sandra, how far has this family come?
We came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
That's what she said. That's exactly what she said. I want you to watch it one more time, because this is the case of I didn't exactly hear the question or the context. This is the mother of Brian Thomas Jr. being asked about the family's journey. One more time.
Sandra, how far has this family come?
We came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Question: which is worse, the question or the answer? The question is, philosophical, supposed to be deep, supposed to elicit a response about this family struggled and this family has sacrificed and compromised, and we went to practices and travel football and blah, blah, blah. You get that. But you can't blame mom. She didn't hear the whole thing. It's loud in there. And Laura was just talking to Brian's dad. The question could be phrased a little bit differently, perhaps. The answer is outstanding. The answer is very literal, obviously. It would have been even better if she said it's about 647 miles. That would have been even more entertaining for the rest of us. As we continue on in the countdown, speaking of great moments from NFL draft night, how do you talk about great moments, and people in the room, and family, and collateral damage without possibly one of the greatest, if not the greatest moment in draft history? Take it back a couple years when the Dallas Cowboys were thinking about selecting Cee Dee Lamb, and you see him in the living room with his friends and family and what appeared to be a girlfriend at the time. I want you to watch very closely at his hands, a cell phone in both, and watch the eyes of his then girlfriend looking down at his phone. Take a look right now. So what you're going to see here is Cee Dee Lamb snatching his second phone out of his hand, and you see the girlfriend asking, wondering, clasping her hands. Look at the discomfort on the family member next to Cee Dee Lamb. Look at the reaction. She wants to see who he's texting or who's texting him. And Cee Dee Lamb said, no. Yeah, no, we're good on that. And then this young lady is just a little bit embarrassed. All right, we'll leave it at that. We'll come back to me. Question, is this the greatest draft moment ever? Ever? Absolutely it is. This moment will live in infamy for all time. This is one of those moments in which people remember. Do you remember where you were? Do you remember where you were when Cee Dee Lamb snatched his burner phone out of the hand of his girlfriend so she couldn't see who was texting him or who he was texting? Remember how smooth he did that and just told her, no. And then she had to sit there while the rest of the family was laughing and aware of the awkwardness. Greatest draft moment in NFL history. Continuing on all the way to number 2, presented by Celsius. Essential energy drinks, Essential Energy. Live fit. Love me some Celsius. Celsius starts with C, and so does Caleb Williams, or as we're calling him here, the Cy Bear. Very clever. Take a look last night as Caleb Williams is going to make an appearance at a Chicago Bears draft party. Problem is he's not actually there because he's in Detroit. Look at this moment in technology, football, and just overall creepiness.
No, not at all. Not at all. So happy.
He's not actually there. He's in Detroit, and he's standing in front of a camera that somehow creates a hologram that gets projected in that box standing there in Chicago. Question, holograms, are you in or are you out? Ever since Star Wars, help me Obi-Wan, you're my only hope. The whole R2-D2 project, holograms are awesome. But are you going to pay money to go see, a dead celebrity performing? I know they tried to do this with Tupac at Coachella. I know they tried to do a tour with Whitney Houston and Elvis Presley. It's a little creepy. It's awfully cool. And in this spot right here, it allows him to be two places literally at once. I'm in on the holograms, but I'm even more so on using the term Cy Bear for the cyber. I give myself credit on that. As we find ourselves all the way to number 1, presented by F1 Miami, the Crypto.com F1 Miami Grand Prix, happening May 3rd through 5th here in South Florida. Get your tickets right now at F1MiamiGP.com as we see the starting line to the finish line on this Friday edition. We would be remiss if we didn't include a little bit of the NBA on TNT because that's a tradition here on Questionable Call. Charles Barkley making a guarantee last night on TNT, and as you know, he's got the guarantee button. Different things happen when he hits the button. Take a good look at Chuck's face, and you tell me whether or not he seems a little startled by what is going on with his latest in-studio guarantee.
Yeah, hey, you think this dude? I'm going on a winning streak, brothers. Are you feeling guaranteed? Oh, look what you did now.
Oh, heck, man.
What the hell happened?
See, I'm nervous.
That looks like some type of power outage. Something is.
I'm not feeling good about this.
Underdog almost didn't look at that.
Man, you hit the lights off.
That is really.
Oh, man, you just shut down all the left, right, center, too. That was like
all from hitting the guarantee.
Come on, man.
They got him good. It is reminiscent of the old ESPN promo for SportsCenter. Come with me if you want to live. Remember that one with Charlie Steiner? Question. Did they get him? Did they get Chuck? Yeah, they got Chuck. You saw he looked scared. He thought he turned the power off. And then later on, he was a little confused about how this went. This is why, once again, they are the greatest studio show in all of sports. It is the chemistry. It is the camaraderie. It is the nonsense. And what a great excuse to watch this show if you don't even care about basketball. Well done, NBA on TNT crew. And that brings us to the end of another edition, the Friday edition. Remember, hit subscribe. See if you can't hit rate, review, leave a comment, and tell your friends to do exactly the same. And remember, kids, while every day above ground is a good day, some are just more questionable than others. Say goodnight to the bad guy. See you Monday.